Mic on. Wow. Hello, hello, hello. This is Sena Bonbon, your resident DIYer from FlaVR. How are y'all today? Well, it took me a second. I was like, ooh. Like, why is my little soundbar not moving while I'm talking? New streamer, who this? Okay, let's get this going. Hi, hello. Uh-oh. What's going on? Hold on. Sorry. My wives are texting me on the Snapchat. Let me see what they're saying. What y'all nerds want? Oh my god, Nate. I sent a picture of my foot to the group chat. Like a degenerate. Okay, hi. Just made some chicken tacos. Hope you're doing well this evening. Good, good, good. Oh, don't look at me like that, Mumby. Hi, how are you? I'm a little quiet just because, I don't know. I'm not like lower energy, but I am my social battery's a little drained. I talked to my mom on the phone today, hence the heavy accent, then my brother. And they were both like 2-hour calls. So all the things that I was getting done got interrupted because my mom was like, "Are you available?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, not really." She was like, "Well, are you or aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I guess." So, sent as a degenerate foot bro. Oh, the horror. I sent it because we were all sending it, okay? If your friend jumped off a bridge, would you? If my friend didn't jump off a bridge, I'd still jump off a bridge. What do you mean? Hello, Flavor Town. It's the flavor! But anyway, yeah, so got interrupted with that. Ended up not being as productive as I wanted, but I did get this presentation done ahead, way ahead of schedule, that I was like, oh, T. Oh, I guess that's I'm gonna have to put my phone on do not disturb because I'm getting so distracted seeing that pop up. Okay, do not disturb, okay. But yeah, my husband and I are two different people. If enough people jump off the bridge, the drop wouldn't be that bad after a while. Do a flips and are you okay? I have to check. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Why? Did I not say I'm fine? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, Rachel. Oh, I posted a clip today and I got my first hate comment. Oh, I knew I was going to talk about it on stream because it made me laugh. Because it wasn't even a real hate comment. It was just... I don't know why it made me laugh so hard, but it did. So, like, I opened it up. It was one of the clips that Dazzle had edited for me, and I posted it as a short. And the guy comments on it. It was about the accents. Go figure. And the guy goes, "What the hell?" He said, "This shit was so funny to me." Ah, yes. He said, "Nobody cares." I don't know why that made me so... I want to heart it. I think I just will. Heart. No one cares. I'm like, yes, I clipped this for my own sake and posted it because I liked it and nobody else cares. You're right. I was joking around. His username's Gonzo3956. I wanted to write like a song of just like, Gonzo 3956. I love you, baby girl. Like, I don't know. It made me laugh because it wasn't even like a real hate comment. Because I wouldn't say that's a hate comment, you know what I mean? But it was just funny of like, nobody cares. I'm like, you're right. They probably don't. Like, ooh, big words on the screen today. Oh, it was good. It was a good thing to see. It was like one of those things where I was like, oh, I was busy doing shit. I looked over, saw the notification, and clicked on it, said, nobody cares. I was like, oh, damn. You right. a pretty weak attempt. Yeah, he's got what we call the tism, probably heart it, flex on him. I hearted it. It just made me, it just pin it. Can you pin comments? Maybe I will. But it just made me laugh. I was like, that's hilarious. I was like, man, first hate comment and it's something real chill like that. I'm like, dang, my haters gotta get stronger. Please get stronger. Come at me with your worst. But yeah. Hey, I have the tism and disavow. So do I. And I'm not gonna, I can't imagine. It sounds like the kind of comment my little brother would leave on something. Oh yeah, nobody cares. Oh, speaking of, I think I found out when my little brother's gonna be coming out for the summer. He's gonna be here from May to August, so there will be like a week here or there that I'm not streaming because we're just gonna go out and camp. So, hopefully y'all will forgive me. But yeah. Yeah, I'm only a little late. Yeah, you're fine, you're fine. We're just opening it up. So, if you remember part 1, it was quite lengthy. Part 2 is going to be a little more condensed just because it's the weeknight and, you know, people got work in the morning. But also because these ones are a little more hefty. For whatever reason, the less infamous ones seem to have a lot more evil to them, shall I say. Some of them are a little silly. But for the most part, everything I would find was just like, holy shit, how is this going on? And nobody's done anything. Like, you go and break up the Branch Davidians and kill a bunch of children, but you have this going on for 20 fucking years. How? So, a lot of these are older ones that have been going on since like the 80s, 90s. You know, it feels so weird calling things older when it's in the 90s, but yeah. Bring him on, we'll be nice-ish. Probably not. He's only 12, so probably won't bring him on. And I don't expect him to try and act, and I don't really want to add to his online presence without his consent. So if he brings it up organically, then we might do like a Bible study, or like a singing stream, because he loves to sing gospel songs. So we might do something like that. But if it involves talking, he won't be on here. So. Yeah, I mean, part of why I have TikTok is to follow his accounts on stuff, just to keep an eye, because my mom isn't doing that. And he posted his Valorant clips today, and I heard his voice and it's getting deeper, and I was like, ew, what the hell is this? Who is this? So this is gonna be a weird summer, just seeing him be a little more of a young man than a little boy. So that'll be interesting. Hi, Sena. Hi, Thomas. The 90s were only 30 years ago. You take that back. I know, right? Like, holy crap. But yeah, the 90s was 45 years ago. It's because the world is ruled by evil. True. How dare I have a life? I know, it's so frustrating. I'm one of the few streamers who touches grass daily. Daily, chat. I was gonna go foraging, or at least trying to see what's sprouting up in my area, because I just kind of want to get like early mushrooms like chanterelles and truffles, but it was very rainy today, very cold and windy, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. It was just shit weather throughout the day, and I'm like, it'll be sunnier on another day. It'll still be spring. It's probably still a little frostbitten for mushrooms. I'm just getting trigger happy. So do I grow crops? I don't have the space for that since I am in a row home, but I do grow stuff in like my raised beds. My raised beds aren't like the traditional trough style ones. They're like these huge buckets, these plastic bins. And I grow tomatoes, peppers, lettuce, cabbage, whatever I really want to grow. This year I'm gonna do, let me think, I'm gonna do a clothing hamper basket of potatoes, and then I'm gonna try to grow, I really would like to grow melons if I can, but we'll see what I can do. So I can't really tear up the backyard, even though it's already torn up from all the from all the snow skis, so I don't know. I don't really know. I want to do more Sena stuff. Ooh, yeah. I don't know. I really would like to go out and do some gardening but it's not quite time yet. I can do some starts in my house to be transferred to planters, but for now we wait. But yeah, last year I bought starts. I didn't grow them from seeds, but I might try to grow most of them from seeds, except for this one tomato variety we get out here. That's like a wild variety that this guy just grows like down the street from me, and they yielded and yielded and yielded and yielded all summer. These tiny, great, like, I don't even know, like cherry-sized tomatoes, and they were small, like very small, almost like an olive, even like a black olive, just small. So nice. Dropped a like? Well, thank you. It snowed yesterday here, actually. Yeah, it's snowing where my brother's at right now, one of them. And then, you know, back home, don't snow there, so get that wizard mushroom. All mushrooms are edible, some only ones, true. I grow bags, works well. Yeah, I would like to grow some shiitakes and, yeah, I'd just like to grow some shiitakes because because I'm in a rural area, I don't have a lot of produce selection unless I want to grow it myself. So like mushrooms, they only sell portobellos or white buttons, which are portobellos in their younger state. Even creminis are technically portobellos as well, just a different name. So yeah, it's just portobello. I'm started some plants in my house, a bunch of flowers, marigolds, those are great for keeping away bugs, purple allium, grape hyacinth, daisies, black-eyed Susans, love black-eyed Susans, and morning glories. Yeah, I don't know if I'll grow a lot of flowers. Probably will in my flower bed, but I was thinking about planting bulbs, but I don't know. Probably not. I like to grow the things that can grow back usually, but I don't know. Perennials or whatever. But for now, I don't know, I'm kind of miffed with my apartment right now, so like I just don't feel like putting in the effort of beautifying it when the maintenance just has not been good this year. Since I moved in, when I first moved in, I noted all the issues and did my, essentially room report, and they've yet to take care of it, and it's been a year coming like the middle of April, and I just renewed my lease and they upped rent but haven't fixed any of the issues. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to be looking for a new housing next year as well as new work, so it's just like stress of knowing that that's coming up eventually and having to pack up my life again. So but it's fine. It just makes me not want to put in the effort, because it's like, what's the point and put in my effort to make this place look nice and make it into a home when it can't be my home? So, I don't know. It's sad. It is what it is. It's part of, adulting and all that bullshit. But let's get into it before I delay any further. Marie, hi Marie. A presentation on cults that resembles a lovingly crafted scrapbook. Yeah. I couldn't find the template I used for this, so part 2 is a little different, but I did try to keep it in the same color palette at least. Adulting is hard. Yeah, it is, and it's a little depressing sometimes. Worst decision I ever made. Yeah. Okay, so when we did cults the first time, this is what we covered. We covered what's a cult, my definition, infamous cults, all the things. What defines a cult? The way I define a cult is it violent? Can it harm me or others? No, then why do I care? We're not going to focus on that too much with this part 2. We're just going to kind of just cover other things. This is what we covered last time. Heaven's Gate, the Manson family, Shinrikyo, Branch Davidians, Children of God, the People's Temple, the Unification Church, Rajneepuram, Movement for the Restoration of the 10 Commandments of God, Order of the Solar Temple, where they model their stuff after the Templar Knights, and this silly little throw-in of the Russian cult focused around a mouse. Alright. FlaVR isn't a cult yet. Oh my lord. I wonder if we're going to do the Anthill family. Yes, we are. That's a very graphic cult. Holy shit. The fact that it isn't more infamous is actually kind of shocking. Okay. Cults Part 2. Cult of Gadget? Seriously? Yeah, and it's Russian. I want to emphasize that. Because when I was doing my silly cult search, it seemed to be a lot of Slavs. Like, a lot of Slav areas have silly cults where it's just like, but why? 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 So, a mouse cult. They're one for the Botkin family. Listen, we're just gonna watch. There is gonna be a content warning going ahead for the more sinister stuff because the crimes do involve children. They are pretty violent. So if that makes you squeamish, I would say click out of the stream because it is, you know, just reading through some of it was just gross. So, alright. Which is why I put silly at the end, because, like, I got very overwhelmed reading through some of this stuff. Like, the first cult I'm going to introduce you to is not well known. It's not being reported on widely, and it really should be. It needs to be shut down. The things that they've done has been enough to, like, get me choked up. So, yeah. Anyways, fresh pot of coffee's done and ready to rock and roll. There's a reason I don't read into these things. Yeah. But, I mean, I was trying to do due diligence of research and... yeah. Alright. So, let's get into it. It's a continuation of the lesser known cults, okay? These are things that, like, I'm a big cult fan. Not like a fan of the cults, but just learn about these sorts of things, and these are a little less known. I did throw in Nixium just because y'all mentioned it enough, and I felt like, okay, I can just kind of pepper that in. It doesn't get talked about as much as a cult because it was a multi-level marketing scheme as well, so... This is by Sena Bonbon, stalker and streamer. Alright, so we, like I said, 2 sections, sinister and silly. Okay. Oh, let me move myself so you can see stuff. I'm gonna put myself over here for now so you can read along. I don't know if it's too small, so I'll read all of it. Stalker, yeah. I won't quit you, streamer. Okay, so this is called The Body. Now this one, it makes me sad because it's been going on for 20 years, but yeah. So this is a cult in PNW, and if you don't know that abbreviation, it's the Pacific Northwest of the USA. I say that because it's been in a couple locations. And it's been going on for well over 2 decades with no end in sight. I'm saying even local law enforcement as well as actual court officials, as in judges, have turned a blind eye to the things that this cult has been doing. For more information, I would check out thebodyintl.com. There is a lot of thrown together stuff by this journalist named Siren. He has committed the rest of his journaling career to this. It is... I'm getting out my paper because I wrote a lot of notes on it. It is worth reporting, and he went as far as, and it sounds like some crackhead shit, which made me kind of laugh, but he went as far as to, like, calling the FBI on them, and the FBI weren't taking his claim seriously, so he reported himself to the FBI and making threats to the House of Representatives, so that way they would raid his home and take everything on his computer hard drive so they would have this information, and then he made a formal report after that. So that's how seriously he takes it, and honestly, I think that's pretty fair. So technically, because it's ongoing, I can't say the guy's full name, but his name is Mark B. And he's a child-abusing pedophile turned prophet/messiah, and he considers himself the son of God. So brief history. Yeah, that's journalism. Yup. So, it's a Christian and I use that term lightly, Christian, quote unquote, based sex cult that involves children, ongoing for nearly 20 years. It started in Nikiski, Alaska, and then later moved down to Tonasket, Washington, and now is spreading internationally. They have a sect in Australia now. Mark preaches on sex and him being the living son of God. So what he says goes, and he's very interested in sex. A lot of these people who form these kinds of cults usually are. This is pretty common to see the leaders take advantage of women, especially sexually. And he is not free from that. So what makes them so sinister? Primarily, I would say the child abuse. But they've been known to separate families. Mark, he gets into these moods. He has aggressive mood swings. And once he decides to, quote unquote, exile you, you're out completely. And once you're exiled, you are cast out from the body and you are considered a demon. And no one is allowed to interact with you and you are going to hell. Yeah. So he'll separate families at random. He'll take people's kids and, send them to someone else. And the women in this cult seem to be so fucking brainwashed that they don't care about their babies, which I just can't imagine being so removed as a mother to not have that maternal instinct. But we're going to hear a couple of instances of the lack of a maternal instinct. So originally there was this woman named Carrie who was kicked out. Her husband, Chris, was put into jail later on, but he kept the kids from her. Her baby, who was only 3 months old, was given away to a random family. She didn't know how to get him after she gave birth, essentially. He kicked her out, and the baby just was sent off somewhere. And then she had a 3-year-old who she could not, have access to. And eventually the police had to get involved. CPS was called multiple times. When they apprehended Chris, the cops, the body cam footage is just sad. He is referring to the 3-year-old girl as his property, and you're not going to take my property, and that's just property. And when the cops said, no, that's your daughter, that's a person, he said, no, it's property. Called his kid an it. Was just a disgusting bastard. And so Carrie eventually got full custody of her children. And he's in jail or finally out of jail and has tried very hard to get his kids back. And Mark B has enough sway in that area that it almost happened, but thankfully it didn't. So that's this kind of stuff we're dealing with. So in 2012, Mark beat a 9-month-old baby, 9 months old baby, for babbling, just making baby noises, which is what babies do, during prayer. They were having a dinner, and I think his brother was there, and he bared witness to what happened. And he's there, and they're praying, and the baby's cooing, and afterward, he backhanded that baby so hard that the baby's head bounced off the high chair, and there was blood everywhere, and he was initially charged with a 4th-degree assault, which is a very serious crime, and is pretty much near death. Yeah, wood chipper, feet first, yeah. And, the judge, which was a female judge in Alaska, turned a blind eye. Instead of charging him with 4th degree, he got off on a misdemeanor and was charged to do only community service for a couple months. And he was allowed to choose the community service, so he chose his own nonprofit called Sought Out, which was just another moniker for the body. So he had to clean his own church for a couple months. Yeah. Yeah. This kind of stuff makes me so angry. Yeah, I feel like you can hear me trying to hold back, because this motherfucker. Yeah, the judge's name was Jennifer. Fucking Judge Jenny. Fucking piece of shit. Like, I'm like shaking. They moved down eventually to Tonasket, Washington, where another thing happened with a woman named Melissa Parker. Her husband was exiled at random. He called him a demon and removed him from the church. And it became this long drawn out custody battle. And this stupid fucking idiot Mark has all of his followers follow him around, record his every word, because every word he speaks could potentially be a new scripture. So he has this backlog of evidence that gets brought into court like a fucking idiot, which essentially makes Melissa look really bad and really psychotic, and means that her husband could finally get the kids who's out of the cult. And instead of like sticking it through and going through the court battle, Mark sends Melissa to Australia to start a new sect with a new leader, and she marries that guy and leaves her children on the driveway in the cold, in the snow, in the middle of like a blizzard on her husband's driveway. Doesn't text him, doesn't tell him. He goes outside and finds his 2-year-old shivering on the driveway and his kids huddled together. Yeah. And these are the only instances of reported abuse. Imagine the stuff that's gone on behind closed doors for over 20 years. And Mark also performs a ritual on all of his members, regardless of age, called washing, where usually, because it's like a whole town that they take over, your boss and then one of the leaders of the church and Mark strip you down naked in the church, and then Mark hand washes you from head to toe, privates and all. And they're still ongoing. Nobody's doing anything about it. Nothing's being done. And and now it's spreading. So, yeah. Wash me, Daddy. Shut the hell up. So, I want good, hardcore, Old Testament fire and brimstone capital punishment judges for these people. Seriously. Seriously. Oh no. Yeah, this is where justice comes in. Except it didn't when a judge was involved. They didn't care. They didn't fucking care. A 9-month-old baby beaten to the point of near death because it cooed during prayer. A misdemeanor. Evil. Evil. Wood chipper feet first. And so that is the first cult that we are covering for Sinister. And it is truly sinister. And it is worth covering because nobody's fucking talking about it. And it's just ongoing. It's just ongoing. Nobody's doing anything. You have all kinds of cults that have been shut down for far less than this. For far less than this. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, look at him. He looks fucking evil. It's just sad. And the men that have been interviewed who are still part of this cult are just some of the most evil, just evil men I've ever heard of. Just makes my blood boil, my stomach churn. Betting politicians have a buy-in. Probably they own a lot of land. They have a lot of government write-offs because of non-profit. And I mean, they did take over a whole town for a good minute there. I don't know what the situation's like in Tonasket, but right now he does have a nice light starting point. I know. But we're gonna finish light instead. I think that's nicer. Give you something to chew on, and then we can finish light, so I don't send you away in a bad mood. So, but yeah, just sick. People are sick. People are sick. Not enough people are. Yeah, I just can't. I can't imagine if this guy gets in prison, he will be killed. And no doubt in my mind, if people find out what the hell, if he doesn't have good guards, he will be killed. Because how do you not? Chomos get killed all the time in prison. The shit he's done, the shit that hasn't even come to light yet. And I say yet because I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful. So, this is why horror movies don't scare me much. Reality is scarier. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to move on to a little more well-known cult. This is Nexium. Let me move chat for a sec if I can. So this is up here is just a couple pictures of the other people. They're not that important. The most important right here is Keith Rainier. So what a shame that would be. The guy behind the Anthill kids got stabbed in jail. Yeah, I know. We'll get there. Come on now. Patience. Alright, so NXIVM is an MLM turned sex trafficking. They were passionate about serving women, so we commit to developing high... Oh, wait, hold on. I didn't mean to... That's not... I never deleted that part of the original. Sorry. But it was an MLM turned sex trafficking cult. I use cult loosely because it wasn't like they had a belief. It wasn't like Rainier regarded himself as a messiah type, and a lot of times that's what's required, is that there's a belief and like an end date and all the things. But the truth of the matter is anything can be a cult, and the way that this transpired, it became a cult. Sorry. Who remembers the superhero drama Smallville? Yes, we're getting to it. You're getting ahead of yourself, my love. You're getting ahead of yourself. Alright, so it was founded in 1998. And usually that would be the best year, but apparently not today. By Keith Rainier and Nancy Salzman as a self-help, quote-unquote, group in Albany, New York. Which, for those of you who don't know, is the capital of New York. Fun fact. An estimated 18,000 people have enrolled in their courses since then. And in 2017, past members or ex-members sought an investigation through New York State authorities. What they found, the authorities, was a sex cult. A bunch of women, several of which branded with the initials KR. If you guys have seen the pictures of that jagged K and R on women's arms and chests, where they were branded like cattle. A bunch, and forced to have sex with Keith. Okay, this is like small-time Jeffrey Epstein. Women were encouraged to have sex with their superiors and were referred to as slaves, whilst the men were referred to as masters. Women were to recruit other women into this cult, and there was a requirement that the members have a series of embarrassing nude photos as a form of insurance for loyalty to the group. Rainier was later charged with trafficking and rape, etc. Nancy was charged with trafficking and identity theft, and etc. And the Smallville actress, Allison Mack, which is kind of what got this cult some infamy, was just like how high profile it started to become when they started finding out how many famous people were involved. She was also charged with sex trafficking, forced labor, and conspiracy to commit sex trafficking. Now, this is just one of many things that happens in today. This is essentially what modern day slavery looks like. A lot of it is indentured servitude, sex trafficking, and things of that nature. Modern day slavery usually is people being trafficked in from usually Eastern Europe or Africa. And usually they end up being nannies to kids and working house jobs, and then at night serving their masters in the bedroom, even though they were married and had children. So this is unfortunately extremely common outside of NXIVM even, and isn't marketed as a self-help. It is marketed as a way to get your green card and become a US citizen, and these poor women and men are tricked into coming out here. Their green cards are held above their head, or they aren't even given green cards, and then they are just raped and pillaged. It's very common. If you've ever been out west, Las Vegas is a major sex trafficking and trafficking capital of the US, where a lot of people come in and go out, which makes sense since Nevada has everywhere except Las Vegas legal prostitution. So yeah, NXIVM is just one of many. You know, the "We Are Legion." That's NXIVM. So, all of them on the wall. Yep. So, what do you mean New York is not the capital of New York? Yeah, just like most places aren't the capital. Like, Anaheim's the capital of, no, not Anaheim. Sacramento, right? Yeah, Sacramento's the capital of, California, and Carson City's the capital of Nevada. It's the capital of Washington, D.C. isn't the capital of Virginia, I don't believe. It's just the capital of the U.S. And yeah, so it's just like, it's weird because like a lot of these capital towns usually aren't that populated compared to the rest of the state's cities. Seems to be the way it works. Unless it's Texas. Texas is just overly populated because it's its own country. Did he have underage girls? I thought it was adults. It was mainly adults. To my knowledge, it was mainly adults. Yes, we are. Yeah. New Yorker here, it's true. Rip, my favorite Bible quote. So, do we have a wall long enough for these freaks? No, but we can send them to the pits of hell instead. Pits are bottomless. Bottomless pit. Down you go. Yeah, I don't know. This shit is just sad because it's like, you look at NXIVM and this is just what's been brought to the light. Same with Epstein. And that was only partially brought to the light, if we're honest. We didn't get nowhere near the information we should have. And I think that is really the main issue with trafficking, is that the only time it becomes a big deal is when popular names are associated. Otherwise, these women and men don't matter. They don't. They're not given any sort of personhood, and they are treated like the slaves that they are bought into. And it is very sad. But yeah, y'all are talking about cults now? So, never released the client list for Epstein. Yeah, there was that like supposed one, but it ended up being quote unquote a hoax. I don't know if it was a hoax or if they just didn't want to see all those past presidents and politicians on there. So, client list? What list? For Epstein's Island. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Andy. Yeah. So, I don't know. There's a lot of conspiracies that can go around, but at the end of the day, we're never going to know the truth. We're never going to know the truth. And to say, or to assume, that because Jeffrey Epstein's been taken down, that this trafficking ring has also been taken down is just woefully ignorant. For all we know, it's just the US stepping in going, we want control now. So, yeah, it's just sad. But yeah, that's NXIVM. They technically have been stopped. Technically. But you know, what does that even mean when it comes to this kind of stuff? What does that even mean? Has it really been stopped? It never stops until people are stopped being trafficked. And the truth of the matter is, I don't think that's ever going to stop. Not in this lifetime. So, just gotta burn the world away. Alright. This is another one. This one is kind of spooky. This is a Mexican cult. It's from the 70s. So this is Matamoros. And the name of the cult was not mentioned when I did my deep dive on it. It's Matamoros, I think. And Matamoros is just a border town in Mexico. This guy, Adolfo de Jesus Constanzo. Let me hold on. Adolfo de Jesus Constanzo. There we go. Gotta pronounce it right. I feel bad if I don't, but I shouldn't feel bad because he's bad. Okay. Anyway, he's known as the godfather of Matamoros. He was the leader of a cult known for human sacrifice in the 1970s. Ran out of the Rancho Santa Elena, which is a remote desert compound. He was known for being quote-unquote clairvoyant and performing rituals as spells. Gun runners from all over Mexico would stop by there before they headed across the border to be blessed by these human sacrifice rituals so that they would be quote-unquote invisible to law enforcement. So fucking stupid. Mark Kilroy was the unlucky victim that brought Matamoros to justice. He was a 21-year-old all-American boy, which is what Constanzo was looking for. He needed an all-American boy for his newest ritual. He wanted, the blonde hair, blue-eyed, white boy. And so the cult kidnapped Kilroy, where they tortured him for multiple days and eventually chopped off his head, killing him with a machete, and then boiled and ate his brains. This was meant to grant them immunity from the authorities. However, this led to them shutting down because the people who thought they were free and invisible, instead of stopping at a border stop, decided to just blast through. And instead of chasing them down, the border patrol thought, you know, maybe they're on a drug bender. Let's just follow behind quietly. They followed behind quietly, and what they found, they led them back to the compound. And what they found at the compound was guns and drugs, all kinds of drugs. And then they found 27 mutilated, sacrificed victims, among them being Mark Kilroy. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy. I didn't even... Just 27. Just 27. I say just 27 because the police think that there is more than 27. That's just what they found because these people were eating them for part of their ritual. So they think it might have been more than 27. Yeah. Yeah. I ate an American once and all I got was diabetes. Well, this is the 70s where Americans were still fit and happy. At least he boiled them, I suppose. Oh my lord. We need Aryan blood. Yeah, yeah. Didn't help that his name was Adolfo. Adolf Jesus Constanzo. Yeah, alright. Quite a name. I love the accent. Yeah, sorry, it is on strong tonight. Like I said, I was with my family on the phone for like 4 hours just now, so I got up at 7:30. I finally was like, Bobo, I gotta go. He's like, you gotta stream? I was like, yeah, I kind of have to set up. And he was like, I mean, when do you start? And I'm like, 8. And he's like, you can't stay a little while? And I'm like, ah. It's like, I'm just driving home from the store, like, just keep me company for a little while. I'm like, He didn't even need to go to the store. He just wanted to go and buy, like, Easy Mac instead of just making what he had in his house. Fucking loser! He's so lazy! He's so fucking lazy! Oh. Oh yeah, he works at the store, so he just drove like 2 seconds down the street. Thanks, Evil Mandrake, for the memberships. The accent is bliss, so Easy Mac ain't bad though. Oh no, it isn't. No, Bobo, he got... Well, it wasn't Easy Mac, it's that Hamburger Mac. Because he wanted to make tacos, and he was like, well, I'm gonna make tacos. And then he was like, well, I don't really want tacos. I really want mac and cheese. And he was like, well, what if I make Taco Mac? And I was like, okay, just make it with some macaroni noodles. And he's like, Sena, I'm fat. You think I just have macaroni noodles? No, I'm gonna go get some hamburger helper. I was like, I don't fucking know. I'm sorry. Jesus. I mean, you did work in a restaurant. I thought you would be on top of it. And he's like, I'm fucking fat. What do you expect? I'm gonna go eat fat people shit. And I was like, stop being mean to yourself, please. He loves being fucking mean to himself. He's such a Debbie Downer about it, where I'm just like, Bobo, knock it off. Knock it off. You're allowed to love yourself. It is not like, please stop talking bad about yourself. It makes me want to choke you through the phone. But he grew out his mullet right now, and he has beautiful brown curls. So he's got like nicest hair right now, and his beard is coming in really thick. So he's looking like redneck, proper and true. So, but yeah, honesty is good at trait to have, but that's just resignation at this point. Yeah, because like he's also like, I need to get in shape. He's that type of person who's constantly like, I need to get in shape. I'm fat. No one will ever love me. And it's like, plenty of women love fat guys. You just don't love yourself, stupid. Get to it. But that's besides the point. So that is why the accent is strong. Sorry. Respect. We love a self-aware king. He is a king. I love him. I love him to bits and pieces. I love all my brothers. I think that's the another thing, is that my brothers are a little weird. It's like, I will remain single until people realize it's a package deal. If you don't love my brothers, you don't love me. Because I am just like my brothers. I just have a pretty female face on top. Otherwise, I'm just like them. I work with my body, so I burn 4.5 thousand calories a day. I'm calling Cat. Okay, let me move myself again. Do a little peeking. Let's do a little peek. You know what? I'm just gonna rotate. Hold on, I'm chopped in half. Don't worry. Alright, here we go. Alright. Yeah. This is the Anthill kids. Sena, one of the boys? Yeah. When you have 4 brothers, yeah, you're one of the boys. No sisters? Yep. Get rotated. Australian Sena, yeah. Okay, so this is a Canadian cult. And leave it to the Canadians to be absolutely deranged and not check in on the cult and not do anything to stop this shit until someone finally came out. This is why I hate Canada. This is why I hate Canada. I'm not that bad. Celis, you're horrible. Baby boy, you are horrible. Canada hate. Yeah, brother, that hairline. I know. And people were attracted to this. Canada, am I right? They're fucking crazy. Okay. So this is the Anthill kids. I don't think this is their official name. I'm pretty sure it wasn't, but this is what they were coined as. And then we have, I don't want to butcher their names because they're French, but it's Roche. But we'll call him Roach. Throughout. So Roach is the founder. It was established in 1977. They built their own town that they coined Eternal Mountain in Quebec. Strange, and they were regarded as strange by the people living there. They were just strange. And they had strange practices, but they weren't horrific yet. Once the mountain was finished, Roach was like, time to move. And they were like, we just finished. By the way, the reason they were called Anthill kids was because of how they like literally would go into the mountains, burrow out an entire town for themselves. So that's why they got coined as the Anthill kids. So that's how that name happened. So after the Eternal Mountain's built, Roach is like, now girls, time to move. And so they uprooted and moved to Burnt River in Ontario. Don't ask me where that's at. I have no fucking clue. And this is where things get very, very, very dark. See, the issue was Roach was an alcoholic. He was an angry, mean bastard of an alcoholic. And it just gets worse. It just gets really worse. So content warning, these are some gruesome ones. And to give you the full context, I will be reading some of what happened to some of these people. So, you know, like I said, if you get squeamish, just, you know, mute me for a sec and I'll move to the next slide and you'll be safe. So, one of the things that Thralt did, or Roach, he married all the single women in his cult and impregnated each one. So, I don't know how this happened, but they kept joining up for whatever reason. The numbers kept growing, even though the abuse became prolific. But people just kept joining. I don't know why. So, one of his sermons was, if you don't break your own legs with a sledgehammer, you're going to go to hell. So he would dole out cruel and unusual punishments to his followers as a proof that they are loyal to the cult, that they are loyal to the cause, all of that. One of them was breaking your own legs with a sledgehammer. Multiple people did it. He required people to sit on lit stoves. Multiple people did it. Did he ever do it himself? No. He required members to shoot each other and then not treat each other's wounds because he was a great physician, because he regarded himself as God or a messiah. And so he viewed himself as a medical expert, even though he had no experience. And we'll get into that. He wanted his followers to cut off each other's toes with wire cutters as a proof of their loyalty. And they did it. The children were not free from the abuse. They were sexually abused quite often. And in one instance some of the children were nailed to trees. That's right, nailed to trees. It doesn't specify whether their clothing was nailed or whether they themselves were physically nailed, but they were nailed down to trees while other children were encouraged to throw stones at them, and they were stoned. Didn't see if they were stoned to death, but they were stoned. Yeah. And the Canadian government was just like, well, we always knew something was off, but like, we didn't think to check. Like, we just were waiting for someone else to come out. Where the US is like too gung-ho about shit that doesn't usually matter, Canada's like, well, we didn't want to be mean. Like, I fucking hate Canada. I hate Canada. They're so on top of their citizens and then not caring at all. It doesn't make any fucking sense. But you know, French with British occupation. What did you expect? All right. Then Roach began performing surgeries because he was the great physician. There is one instance of a woman named Solange Ballard. He laid her down. This is gruesome, so prepare yourself. He laid her down, punched her abdomen over and over, then shoved a plastic tube up her rectum, poured olive oil and molasses down that tube, then cut her abdomen open with a knife and ripped out her guts with his hands. And of course, she died the next day. All without antiseptic. Just because. Who knows? Maybe she said she had a tummy ache and that was his solution. I have no clue. Yeah, the next day. Yes, that was the part was awful. The next day. So she suffered like that. No antiseptic. Serious demonic stuff. I know. And that's where, I'm looking at the body, which is ongoing in the US, going, that's the route they're heading towards. This man, Mark B is heading down the same route as Roach. And nothing's being done. And this horrific monstrosity can be avoided if the government steps in. Or if the locals step in. Shoot. Go shoot the bastard, I'm telling you. Anyway. This is Gabrielle Lavallee. She is an escapee. And she is the reason why the Anthill Kids were disbanded and why this man was thrown in prison and later murdered. So, she went to escape after Roach sliced off her breasts, cut off her fingers, and smashed her head in. Of course, she was disoriented, fearful for her life. She ended up returning to the cult without ever going to the authorities because she was afraid. That happens when you're brainwashed. When she got back, Roach then amputated her arm with a chainsaw. Now, it didn't specify, but I assume because they added a date that a couple years later, she finally fled again in 1989, contacted the authorities this time, who then went in guns ablazing and shut it down. The shit she had to go through to finally wake up. Insane. And of course, without their leader, they became all disbanded and are no longer active to my knowledge. But just sick, twisted, satanic. And they were technically like a Satanist cult by the time they were shut down. But yeah. Then Roach was thrown in jail and stabbed to death. Rightfully so. So, yeah, that's a dirty cult too with all the chain oil. Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, hardcore. Death is too good for him. Seriously, Dante's Inferno brings me comfort hearing of these things. Agreed. I hope hell is even worse than Dante's Inferno. I hope it's just the eternal suffering. I hope it is, to be honest. I mean, the way that it's explained in the Bible even is pretty bad. Welcome to the Build-A-Bear Spin Scheme. That's a weird time to join. Thank you, though. The wicked will have their reward. Yeah, the way it's described is that it is eternal gnashing of teeth, burning, flesh burning, constantly bugs crawling within and out. So you're constantly, eternally being eaten alive, burning up. What was one guy who was in hell was like, if you could just touch the tip of my tongue with a drop of water. So yeah, anguish. I hope it's that bad. I hope it's worse even. I hope he's like turned inside out and right side out every minute for the rest of his eternity. Yeah. Alright. Alright. That was a lot. And I'm sorry. And yeah. Like I said, sinister first. We're gonna wrap it up now with the silly, the lighthearted. That's not to say that they aren't still bad. They're a cult. But most of it is taking advantage of people financially, which is still bad. But you know, if you're stupid enough to give your money up to people like that, then you're stupid enough. Simple as. So, cult of pie. I don't think there's no cult of pie on this. I'm sorry, Celis. I'm sorry. If you want to share that afterwards, we can. That's fine. Glad I missed the bad section then. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it was a little A little upset tummy type bad. So, I have to go right as the funny starts. Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for the stream, though. Thanks for stopping by. I want to grab the guy a beer who stabbed him. Yeah. Remember to self, don't piss Sena off. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I get judgmental when it comes to this stuff, because it's like, how could you not? These people are fucking evil. So, if you defend this type of shit, then you're fucked in the head, and you need help. Alright. So this is another one that was covered by the same journalist that covered the body. And I'm gonna turn down the music so you can hear this woman's babbling in a sec. But the Profundity Yours is the name of the cult. It's kind of like an MLM turned self-guru turned self-help. Now it's an end-of-world type cult. It's ran by a woman named Linda McGillis, who claims to be an alien guru god. I use the lowercase g because respect. She claims that the end of the world was going to be 3/20/2023. It was not the end of the world. So this is fairly recent. This is a fairly recent cult. It's kind of like Heaven's Gate. Thank you, Auxiliary. It's kind of like Heaven's Gate style cult. Some scummy redneck. That's what she is. She's, you know, pack-a-day type. Literally talks about smoking cigarettes and being closer to the universe and stars because of it, which I just don't know about that. But she has a scummy redneck named Linda McGillis. And I say redneck because you'll hear her accent. It's very similar to mine. She was taking advantage of mentally weak. And I say mentally weak because they really were mentally weak folks. For money, has made a hefty amount of estimated revenue, well into the millions. She stopped recruiting in the months leading up because she feared, and people started to fear it would be a Kool-Aid moment, which is why people started covering the cult. She claimed that the world would end 3/20/23. I put in parentheses, it didn't. Oh shit, I left another thing in here. Sorry about that. Clearly you could see what used to be like a skincare layout. Okay, I do have it written down here as well. She said the spring equinox, that's where the date 3/20/23 came in, because it is spring equinox on that day. 2 more weeks before the end of the world. 3, not 4. I wish it was. Shut up. She's a little bit off. Yeah, she is a little bit off. For the most part, she really just took advantage of people who just seemed to want to waste money anyways. 94 skin improvement. I'm joining the cult. Shut up, Bass. Shut up, Bags. I feel bad because I want to call you bastard because it just feels more natural than bagstered. I don't know. Bagistan? Anyway, it don't matter. I mean, I guess it does. A literal Groundhog's Day was one of her theories. She was referencing Groundhog's Day. You know, the movie Groundhog's Day? She was using that as one of her theories. As a time loop. Mentioned it being Groundhog's Day. Said we're in a time loop. The things that she's done is she's forced shrooms and psychedelics on her members. They've built a compound and an underground bunker. Which is why people were fearful of the Kool-Aid moment. And then she extorts people for money. She takes advantage of a lot of elderly folks. She hates children. I think that's because, you know, younger folk are going to look at her and be like, Mom, what the hell are you doing? So she hates kids, and she hates anyone who's, you know, financially responsible for children, because then they can't give her that money. So she seeks out, you know, mentally weak elderly folks who just want a sense of belonging and want to feel loved because, you know, they've either been abandoned by their family or don't have family at all. And so she promises them, you know, a place and kindness and time, and then takes all of their retirement fund and all of the things they've saved up over the years and the inheritance that would have been for the children that never visited them, which, you know, like, kind of base, because, like, I'm not giving you money if you never check in on me. That's fucking rude. And then she's also using the Tesla theory, and claiming to be... This shit is so funny to me. She claims to be a Tesla robot. And the Tesla's theory is the fact that people assume, because Elon Musk talked about wanting to have AI robots amongst the public. The Tesla theory is that he only mentioned that for us to get used to it because they are among us. So she's using the Tesla theory as well as the Groundhog's Day theory and claims to be a Tesla robot on top of an alien guru god. Among us, yes. I'm surprised that there isn't a Nikola Tesla cult. There probably is. Isn't Elon now all AI bad? Who knows? He picks a different flavor every week. Literally. And then she claims that Earth is a starship and that she just is, you know, the pilot of a starship. She was talking about Teslas driving on the ground and how she could never truly connect to driving on the ground because, you know, what is it like driving on the ground when she's used to piloting a starship? She's fucking crazy. So we're gonna listen to a little clip of it. It's only 3 minutes, so it shouldn't be too long. You aren't gonna be held up too long. And let's just hear this fucking crazy. Oh shit. No, my link's not working. Oh, okay, I'm gonna pull it up instead. What the hell? What do you mean it's not working? There we go, thank you. Okay, cool. Connect, power, thrive. Oh my lord.
Why do you have these doubts? Use your consciousness to talk to your guys' body. Have a telepathic conversation with it. But it's going to help if you talk out loud to your conscious mind because it dictates.
That voice,
Matthew,
yeah,
honey, I just gave you detoxing the pineal gland. It's a belief, guys, that it's blocked. I know your physical bodies will dictate whatever you believe. So Matthew, I'm going to give you a command, sweetheart. You can choose to use it or not. And if you guys want, you can say it together with me right now.
The sound of a carton of
So
Pall
Matthew,
Malls
I
a day,
encourage you to
yeah.
take a couple deep breaths, sweetheart.
Pall Mall 100s.
By the power of the Christ within me, I fully embody the full light of my soul now. I fully open and decalcify my pineal gland, my third eye, and my crown, my thymus, my thyroid, and my
Is this
throat
a dude?
chakra.
No, this is a cisgender woman. She's a real woman.
Center points.
This is what cigarettes do to women's voices usually.
By the power of the Christ that I am, the divine will, the divine truth, the divine grace.
She sounds a lot like my dad's older sister. She's a chain smoker.
By the power of the Christ within me, I command that all inverted solar codes be neutralized.
Oh yeah, she's one step away from the hole in the neck sound.
From my vessel, all cells of my memory within my vessel, and the Akashic records be transferred to the living library of the entire omniverse.
She looks like an average British woman. Yeah, she also looks like an average Southern woman.
That all solar codes of my organic natural blueprint be fully activated and engaged, and overwrite any inverted solar codes that no longer serve my highest good, the greatest good of all of Earth and her inhabitants.
She's
By the
fucking
power
stupid.
of the Christ within me, I thank you.
I think she just comes up with shit.
So it is now.
And then people buy it. She's just a master
manipulator.
But she's not even that bright.
But understand,
the people are just that desperate.
When you make a command,
she does the speaking in tongue shit, but I couldn't find a short enough clip that included it. It might be in this one, but we'll see. But if not, I'll mimic it for you because it's funny as fuck.
Thoughts, but also in your circumstances, your dream time, your visions, and also your experiences in order for you to see the reflection of the very codes that you commanded to come out to be neutralized.
Her lungs are just
and it is for you to recognize not through your human eyes, but truly a neutral space of whatever darkness or dense energies come into your presence, that you recognize it from your consciousness, not react from your human, and neutralize them as they surface. Matthew, does that help you, sweetheart?
Does that help you, sweetheart? Yeah, she's fucking weird. Hold on. Does this one do a little bye shot ta ta ta? Please tell me it does. Let's see.
everything outside of this, your soul don't see anything, is energy, and everything we
Anytime
do
she's like smiling is usually
with
where
our
she does
breath,
the little,
we're breathing every
her little thingies.
second. The breath in every single one
No,
of us
okay,
is
it's not
holy.
that. Yeah, she's fucking crazy. Anyway, she does I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Yeah, she did the Star Wars opening. Because she's a starship pilot. But she does this thing. Recommended. Yeah. She looks like she has the thyroid problems. That is a man, a gay one. Nope, it's a woman. It's a real woman. Yep. Recommended. Yeah, my recommended is real fucked up. My recommended is very fucked up right now. So, don't judge me. I do down the rabbit holes all the time on this. So my recommended is fucked up. So, it's just VTubers, jazz music, and weird down the rabbit holes. But alright, we'll get some music going. But she does this weird like Basha ta 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 na 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 basha ta 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 ta. That's what she does. And she like smiles real wide with them smoker ass teeth and her freaky ass face. I'm so sorry. So yeah, horse. Oh. Yeah, I look up all kinds of stuff for research, so my recommend is not gonna be the best, but I don't think that's a big yab. It's on Sena's account, so it's not too bad. My recommend on my real account is messed up, because I leave shit playing on my TV and fall asleep too. Although right now I've been watching a show called Alone on Netflix. Really like it. I'd love to do something like that. Fake tongues, yeah. Sena, get a burner account. I don't think that matters that much. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I'll do it for y'all. But yeah, no. Yeah. Got a lot of recommended stuff. But anyway. Oh, Alone is good. I watched it on Christmas with my family. Hey, at least you watched Yada. I don't know. I try to do too much research and then my recommended gets messed up. Which is fine, because I'd rather mess up Sena's account for recommended than my actual account. Because then I can return to things I actually enjoy to watch rather than stuff I have to research for, like PowerPoints and whatnot. So, yeah. I have a lot of deep dives that I have planned too, so I think if anything, it just yabs of what's to come. Alright. Sena does it for us. Yeah. I didn't want to be like, I do it for y'all. I want to make like the meme, the do it for her, and just like put the common names I see in chat all over the board. And do it for them. Do it for the bears. Anyway, the stream reminds me of the Beavis and Butthead episode where a weird cult thinks Beavis is divine prophet and they think his babbling was speaking in tongues. Yeah, do it for chat. Don't do it for me. I didn't say you. I wasn't gonna put your name on there. You're one of Mellows. You're a marshmallow. I get it. Jesus, you don't have to be such a little cunt about it. My goodness. All right. I can call you that. I'm a woman. I'm the great Cornholio. Oh my lord. Okay, anyway. The cosmic people of light powers. Or universe people. Sorry, Celis, if I go too far, just tell me. You can just tell me. It's okay. This is a Czech-Slovakian UFO religion. You know, Czech, close to Russia, Slav. They always do the silly ones. It's all good. Okay, cool. Marshmallows are chads. I didn't say they weren't, but I don't think they're chads. Okay? They're just comfy. Well, they're not chads. They're just comfy. You would say Celis is a chad? No way. That's a baby. Anyway, Czech and Slovakian UFO religion. It was founded in the 90s by Ivo A. Benda. He's the leader, which is pictured here on the right. He went on to write a book called Interviews with Instructions from My Friends from the Universe. It is an end of days type of cult. Of course, just like any other cult, they extort people for money. However, the weird part here is that the Czech Republic and even Slovakia had him on their news segments, like primetime news segments, telling people how to join, what the messages meant. So it was actually rather big for a little bit. Czechia is between Poland, Germany, Austria, and Hungary, though. I'm American. You expect me to know where shit is? You're in the EU. It's the same shit, baby. But yeah, so not that near. You can travel most of Europe on a train in a day. It takes multiple days on a train to get somewhere in the US. Alright? I have to spend time learning where my states are. I don't give a shit about the rest of y'all. Sorry. I'm American. I'm allowed to be stupid. Listen to my accent. Czechia has... I know Czech has gun rights. It's one of the based countries in the EU. It's one of the only countries in the EU I'd live in, actually. Yeah. No, I know. Trust me, I know where places are safe for my kind. But yeah, based Czechia, regrets. Yeah. Anyway, irrelevant. We're not in the EU. Alright, like two to 5 of you are in the EU. And I'm sorry. Okay. Jokes aside. Offense aside. They showed him on primetime. It's still an active cult. They've recruited people on primetime news stations in both Czech Republic and Slovakia. He essentially believes the world will end in a cosmic catastrophic event, and that Evo is the only one who can help guide you. By psychiatrists who have attended his sermons, I guess we'll call them sermons, he's been dubbed a psychopath with delusions of grandeur. But yeah, he's just like a guru who's here to guide you to the end of times, with instructions from his friends from the universe. He doesn't really regard himself as a messiah type, but rather a prophet. But for some people, it's the same. So, yeah. Lancer Evo? Nope, his name is Ivo. Abenda. Or Evo? Evo? I don't fucking know. It's a hard name. It's a hard name. If you're gonna be, Slav, it should just be Victor or Sasha. Okay. Or Alexander. Make it easy for me. Alright, that's rude. That's rude, Sena. Alright. I don't care. I don't care. Okay. So this is the last one. Like I said, we're just ending on a higher note. This is called The Brethren. It pictured some of the followers. And down here is Jim Roberts, who passed away at 76 in 2015. Jim Roberts was an ex-U.S. Marine, now cult leader. He technically seems to just lead a nomadic group of homeless people to eat out of garbage cans all over North America. I am very serious. Little known fact that the Bible was written history, not intended to be religion. Good source of words, though. Although some of them were philosophy, some of them were stories, some of them were similes, some of them were metaphors. So, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. When you're raised in like an American Protestant church, a lot of times the Bible is broken down in an acronym, right? I'm sure some of you are familiar with basic instructions before leaving Earth. Yeah. But anyways, back to the Brethren. I was just an average person in a big city. Count yourself blessed if you touched a garbage can raised by this man. Yep. His beliefs. His first sermon was at the age of 15 before he was in the Marine Corps. One of the quotes from it was, "Hell is hot and there's no ice water." So, he led a very almost like Buddhist type Christianity. He believed that the end of the world was imminent, which true. The end of the world is imminent. In your lifetime? Probably not, but imminent nonetheless. Everything comes to an end. He rejected modern society and wanted to lead a nomadic lifestyle with no ties to material things, including family members. And he required people to forsake material things and family members. So that's where he was a little bad, kind of cutting people off. And he also had, you know, kind of strict rules to live by. They were pretty rigid. You were required to sew your own clothes or like fabric it from things that were used. Men were required to have short hair and untrimmed beards, while the women were required to wear tunics. And then the diet was to consist of discarded food from bakeries and grocery stores. So essentially expired food or half-eaten food. They were known as garbage eaters. People dubbed them the garbage eaters instead of the brethren. And then you were not allowed to laugh. You were not allowed to dance. If you had children, they were not allowed to play. And then you were also not allowed to seek out medicine. And so that was where he was like kind of regarded as bad, was just that he was very negligent and highly restrictive with his rules. But like he didn't, to our knowledge, diddle anyone's children or beat the shit out of people. So, you know, for the most part, they were just a group of homeless men. Wasn't a lot of women, and it didn't sound like it was a lot of children. The government usually steps in when children are living a homeless nomadic lifestyle. We're just a bunch of stinky men. Homeless and living off the land, but they weren't living off the land. They were living off man's land of garbage. So, disgusting? Yeah. No. It's legit. No fun. Yeah. Yeah. And the sea was his soup. You know, I would say it would be pretty based if they were nomadic and then lived off the land. But then at that point, you're almost Amish. So, yeah. I would say the Amish is partially a cult as well. And they also get a lot of, like, freedoms that, like, just kind of don't make sense. It's like, how do you get to abstain from these things? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They were the trash men, yes. So they were, like, the stereotype of homeless people digging in the garbage, eating the garbage. Like, yeah. I'm sure they were probably very odorous. So, you could spice it up a little and just live exclusively on caves. Yeah, I don't know. The boring trash men. Yeah, they literally wouldn't, like, laugh. Weren't allowed to dance, weren't allowed to laugh, weren't allowed to have a good time. It was seen as sinful. The whole philosophy was just like, how could we get closer to the Lord? And it was essentially like, give everything up and don't have fun. Although he did require all of them to give up their worldly possessions and then all of their money to be given to Jim, who would then help to finance them moving around. So, you know, just like buying fair places. But yeah. And he did die, but the cult lives on and still views him as the leader, even though he's dead. So they still live by his teachings and by his rulings, even though there's no official leader anymore besides the dead man. So, but yeah. I used to work with the trash and the whole lot was a laugh. But yeah, so that's that. That is the last that I have. I didn't want to go too deep tonight. Like I said, weeknight, all that. Imagine the smell. Please don't. But yeah, this is the end. I could come back up. Here I am. How to get closer to God. Be stinky and boring. Pretty much. Let me pull this up. All my notes. Take a sip of water. Give me a sec. Okay. 4-minute stream. Thanks, Mumby. Alright. Oh no, I'm late. I'm so sorry. I am wrapping up. Sorry, Joshua Neely. I knew someone with the last name Neely growing up. Everybody called him Neely, too. Pachi, pachi, pachi. Speaking of smell, you get dead to it pretty soon. Do you really? I feel like I never do. I feel like I'm very sensitive to smell. Dead men walking. It's in a sit. I'm late. I'm late. It was a very good stream about very bad things. Well, thanks. I'm sorry that it was as hefty as it was. Let me see. I will probably raid you into Woozy, but let me double check if she's live yet. Assume she is. Who's here? Blah, 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 blah. So Lynn's doing Peppa Pig. What the hell? Oh yeah, I can't raid into Pippa anymore. I believe her raids are off for now. I think they're just off in general. So, or if you need like special permission, I'm not gonna bother for some shit like that. It's too grifty. So that's the reasoning. Pippa love, but I can't. So Pippa hates us. Ooh, no, I don't think it's that. I just assume with some of the stuff she's had to stream about recently, just makes it like a bad filter. So it's probably easier to avoid those certain things. And I cannot blame her, so. Mom hates us. Yeah, she disabled them generally. Yeah, I thought so. No, I didn't take it personal. Why would I? I hope she rarely thinks of me. That would give me peace at night, to be honest. So, yeah. I hope I'm not even a thought in her head. Alright, so I'm gonna turn this off. Okay. Raid woos. Yep, I have her set up for a raid. Alright, you guys, it's been really nice. Missed it. What's she screaming about? I don't know. But I'm in her moment. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. She needs a break. That's fine. Thanks for the stream. Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for coming, you guys. I will see you again on Friday, I think. I'm taking rest days. Are you proud of me? Oh, let me see. I'm gonna double check what we got on the menu. I think Friday I'm playing Sons of the Forest with Carrie, or is that Saturday? No. Friday I'm doing something with Tim. Yes, Temp and I think are gonna play Minecraft, but we might leave things open to also we might leave things to do like, I don't know, maybe sorry, maybe some rigging. Looking forward to that. Otobonbon, yes, me too. So, yeah. Alright, good night. Bye. Bye. Juwun? What are you questioning? I'm a rigger? Yeah. Later. Juwun's wrong. Hold on, Juwun, what's wrong? You got me concerned. Nothing, I thought I saw something. What? Saw what? Oh, you'll just have to message me separately. Now you got me nervous. I'm overthinking. Okay. Otobonbon. Good night. It's been real. I thought I was a gifted membership. Oh, okay. What was the... Hold on, I do it for free. Hold on. Some guy had said something, and I was like, I'm gonna do that. Where is it? Where the hell is it? Where are you? Okay, are we ready? Oh, that's okay, sugar. Alright, there we go. I do it for free. Good night.